I think mid kind of speaks for itself as to what it means. Yeah. It's on! Get AI to get my voice out of that, because it always annoys me when I hear myself. It really should just be Gideon.
Peter Jackson. He can remove your voice and the piano and
What do you think of this one, you guys? Check out this picture that Jeremiah sent me.
It looks haunted.
Isn't that cool?
Coming soon, the scare zones at Epcot. Hey, everybody, welcome.
And here you go.
Start. Okay. Hey, everybody, welcome to Disney Parks Talk Live, weekly show in which we talk about what's going on in the world of Disney theme parks. My name is Doobie Mosley. I've been here since day one of Laughing Place. Over there is my wife. She's been here since before that. How you doing, Rebecca?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm okay. Down there in the bottom right corner is our vice president in charge of going all over Southern California. Do you get paid for gas, Mike?
Mike, I think Mike has to disclose what he's wearing.
I can't disclose anything yet. He can't speak.
And Jeremiah, you're wearing a Roosevelt, aren't you?
He is.
But Mike has the Roosevelt vest scar, the Mandalorian. Oh, wow. That's one of those performance hoodies. Look at you styling.
Do you hear me now?
You look good. Okay, yeah, you sound good now too. How you doing, Mike?
Sorry, I had the wrong microphone plugged in and I realized as we were starting. Doing well. Yes, this is provided by Roosevelt's Beskar Performance Hoodie.
You like it? Does it have a good stretch to it?
Yeah, I love these. I've got two of them. They're awesome. Both.
Cool.
Have you like hit yourself with a bat or something to test if it's really
Beskar?
No.
I have not done that.
Does it come with a little thing saying not actual Beskar?
I love the notion that Doobie is saying that it needs to have a disclaimer on it that says this is not actually Beskar. This will not protect you in case of
a bat attack.
I didn't want to use a weapon, I'm trying to keep it somewhere.
I understand.
Okay. And the guy in the bottom left, vice president in charge of being annoying, is Jeremiah Good. How you doing, Jerm?
Doing well.
He was at Disneyland Kingdom earlier.
I was.
He stumbled on construction.
Very white, apparently.
Yeah. We did a quick walk and talk. Saw 78% of the holiday decorations are up.
Yeah.
Very random. Some of it was up, some of it wasn't. I'd turn a corner. I was like, okay, not yet. Yeah, it's up.
But there's construction going on over there by Harambe. I hadn't seen that yet. There's walls up. I guess it looks like they're kind of expanding the cover over there by that little dining zone, as it were.
Yeah, we don't know what it was, and it was one of those ones we could post a picture of, hey, they're doing construction, or hopefully we'll get some type of information soon. Since I'll be seeing everybody in the next few days.
Lots of media events around the corner, so I'm looking forward to hearing more about what's happening at Animal Kingdom.
Okay, but let's start with what's going on at the Disneyland Resort, the other side of the coast. So the big news, of course, this is Disney Parks Talk Live. If you're in the chat, please use it. Ask us questions. We're here to talk about anything you want to. But in lieu of questions from you, we'll go with our planned schedule. First on our list is what's going on at the Disneyland Resort. There's a big, huge, giant attraction opening soon. Literally, the Adventureland Treehouse, inspired by Swiss Family Robinson, and no one on this panel has yet had the opportunity to experience it. It opens officially on Friday. There's a Magic Key preview on Thursday that I believe Celestino is going to be at. but no one on this panel has had the opportunity to go through it yet, which is why we have called in the big cheese himself, who did have the opportunity to go through, to give us,
Oh,
to let us know all there is to know, good and bad, about the Adventureland Treehouse starring Swiss Family Robinson, but not really. That is Benji Breitbart. How you doing, Ben?
Okay, that was quite the lead up. It's amazing how many words you can say without saying a dang thing.
I'm really good at that. He is the CEO of Laughing Place, which means we all owe our very existence to him. Thank you, Benji.
You are.
All right. So I believe on Friday you got to go through the treehouse. Is that correct?
I did. Early in the morning, we got a tour by Kim Irvine.
cool.
And she took us through, and we kind of stopped at each room, and she explained the theory behind the room. And then we had, a little bit of a Q&A. Yeah, I mean, probably exactly what this attraction kind of means that this attraction deserves. But it was, it was kind of nice when you could just ask questions, because I think there's a lot of outstanding questions about what this experience is meant to be.
For example, hey, Ben, for example, one of the questions that I know a lot of fans have is inspired by the Swiss Family Robinson actually going to be a part of its title, or was that something that was just kind of floating around as it was being developed?
So I mean, I guess the official name of the attraction, like in the app, will be Adventureland Treehouse. However, on the marquee, it is the Adventureland Treehouse, inspired by Walt Disney's Swiss Family Robinson. And the inspired by Walt Disney's Swiss Family Robinson is just as big as the Adventureland Treehouse part of it.
Okay.
So I would say it is the name of the attraction is the Adventureland Treehouse. But thankfully, because otherwise the nomenclature people would drive me crazy. But
so why is it not just the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse?
So that's a great question. And I don't know that we necessarily got a satisfactory answer.
I guess I'm asking more in execution. What about this experience?
Well, so it's interesting because it's not the Swiss family. So it is just another family. They were not marooned. They chose to live in Adventureland in a treehouse. There is a mom, a dad, a daughter, and 2 twin sons. They are not Swiss, presumably, but they still play Swiss Capoca. But each child or each room kind of has a different like passion. It's almost like Encanto, right? They each have their own gift. Each room has its own sort of passion. So the mom is passionate about art and music. The daughter is into astronomy. The 2 kids are into nature and wildlife. The dad is a cook as well as a craftsman. It's not. It's very specifically not IP based. However, it is. Kim said that they kind of wanted to pay tribute to the original Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse, and that's why they kind of named it and positioned it that way. But it is. It's that there's nods to it. There's nods to that and Tarzan as throughout the attraction, but it is not exactly Swiss Family.
I know you've traveled a lot, Ben. How do you compare this treehouse to those globally?
I mean, I haven't done Hong Kong's, which on the island.
Yes, you did.
What's that?
Yes, you did. If you did the Tarzan's treehouse, you did Hong Kong's.
What do you mean?
It was the exact same thing as Tarzan's.
Oh, okay. So, So to me, this is by far the most spectacular. It's very kinetic, a lot of movement, a lot of detail. It definitely felt more alive in a manner speaking than the other editions. I mean, you have moving animals actually represented in the attraction. The instruments actually play. It's not even just an organ. There's water kind of either literally or sort of spiritually flowing throughout the whole thing. So the sort of mystical water that comes on the wheel is kind of piped throughout the house. So some places you can see it actually flowing, and some places you just kind of sense it through pipes. And so it just feels, and Jane the ostrich is obviously a fun little addition. So this is my favorite version, despite the fact it is not based on anything I've known before.
Can you talk just a tad about Jane the Ostrich? Is just like an actual animatronic?
I mean, there's a fine line between audio animatronic and moving figure, but she pops along. It's not just sort of there's more programming to it than just Sigourney Weaver, an alien. Like, she moves around and stuff, and so it's fun. It's a lot of fun to have her there.
I feel like we need to come up with a scale of motion, where it's like, and then what if it's Sigourney Weaver, and then up to I don't know what it would be, but I love
Hondo or Naka.
So if you want a lot more detail, we actually talked to Ben right after he went through the treehouse on Friday. So there's a video on our channel of that. We talked, I think, for about probably 20 minutes about it. He goes into even more detail on why it's not Swiss Family. And we actually looked at Disney's video going through the treehouse while Ben kind of talks about it from, what he saw as he went through. So check that out. But overall, you think it's a pretty good addition to?
Yeah, I think. I mean, they're not marketing it. It's not like I mean, I remember Tarzan's Treehouse, and it was like the big thing happening that year, and you're like, I mean, okay, but like, this is for not having any marketing dollars. I think was a very sort of detailed and focused redo. I think it made it lovely. I don't know how it got approved in the IP world we're living in, but I'm glad it did.
And again, it is called the Adventureland Treehouse, inspired by the Swiss Family Robinson.
Inspired by it's called the Adventureland Treehouse, inspired by Walt Disney's Swiss Family Robinson. Not just Swiss Family Robinson, Walt Disney's Swiss Family Robinson.
And guests will call it
the Treehouse.
Swiss Family Treehouse.
They will not say Swiss Family Treehouse. They will call it the Treehouse.
The Treehouse.
Yeah, it's I mean, and that's why I was kind of giving my fellow, like, we're all trying to wrap our head about like why the naming, and I was like, does it really matter? No one's calling it this. Everyone's just going to call it the Treehouse.
And there's the sign Ben talked about.
Yeah. So I think it's a lot of fun, and it kind of fleshes out that Adventureland story. It takes place same time as Indiana Jones, Jungle Cruise.
Is C a part of it?
Yes. So they are not C members. However, the daughter is like a C fangirl. And so she has books by C. She has correspondence with C representatives. So you will see that logo. See that logo. See the C logo. Yeah.
Are there interactive elements, like things where you as a guest impact stuff? Yeah, the other way around. Explorers and adventures.
Oh, it's C spelled the traditional way.
Yeah. Okay. But as a guest, do you impact your experience at all?
I want to say it's not. I didn't see anything that was like interactive. It's more just that the things are moving around you.
Okay.
So. That doesn't mean there's not stuff.
Not like Goofy's house where I like spin things.
Oh no, I would say even less than like Tarzan, where I had that book that kind of works sometimes.
Oh yeah, I remember
or Savor. Like this is more about. I would say it's almost a throwback. It is about having a dimensional experience as opposed to there's no screens in it like in Tarzan for whatever reason there was.
I have a question that is burning in my head, and I hope that you have the answer. And if not, I will have to send Mike Celestino to find the answer. And that has to do with Mind Thy Head. Is there still is there any nod? Is there any kind of?
I didn't notice that.
I missed that.
They do picture. I mean, the Swiss Kapolka's throughout the whole thing, but each room has its own version of it. So and they. And
the ostrich's name Jane, which is intentional.
Right, and like it's some of the books in the house, or one's like Tarzan and one's Swiss Family Robinson.
Does Mrs. Potts and Chip show up anywhere?
No, not that I saw, but there is a Victrola which is inspired by Encanto, so there's an Easter egg to that. So
Nice.
So Encanto finally did come to the treehouse, just as everyone suspected.
right, yeah, in the boys' room, like it's supposed to be a tribute to Antonio from
Nice.
Encanto, but yeah, there's lots of throwbacks, lots of Disneyland references that still has that Disney addendum sign, kind of there. They didn't go back to the old school leaves. They're still the Tarzan Treehouse leaves, but
That's okay.
I think we will.
They could have had mine back. I would have donated.
So the last two attractions, if I'm not mistaken, Disney has opened, at least in North America, are Journey of Water inspired by Moana and Adventureland Treehouse inspired. Is this a trend? Is this like how IP has to be done now?
I mean, I don't think. I think people, it's okay if they want to. If IP is going to be a light touch, more power to it. I mean, I think not. It's not a one size fits all. Obviously, we love things like Galaxy's Edge and Avengers Campus, but there's more to the parks than that.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Ben. Appreciate you joining us. If you see anything else you want to talk about, pop back on.
I will.
That is the big cheese himself, Benjamin Brightbot.
That's not Mickey Mouse.
I know. Yeah, just all.
Thank you for our existence. All right. Next up, let's talk some cruise line stuff. Jeremiah, this is kind of your neighborhood these days. Oh, crud, idiot. Me, not you.
Excuse you?
that was Doobie internal speak because he accidentally stopped sharing.
Call me an idiot on a public forum where at least 5 people are watching. That's not nice.
I saw the shared screen disappear.
All right. So we're getting more information about Lighthouse Point, Lookout Key, no one knows what to call this thing, coming summer 2024, somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. Jeremiah, are you up to speed on what they announced last week?
A little bit. I didn't look over it all, but I skimmed it. It's kind of just, hey, this is going to be cool.
So they've announced just some of the details. They have, when you arrive, when you arrive at Castaway Cay, you kind of arrive and there's not really much going on. You have to kind of take a hike before you get to anything. There's just towels and water and stuff. Well, not the case on Lighthouse Point. The hub at Lookout Key, probably Key, is the Goombay Cultural Center, and this is it. And it has a Junkanoo inspired design, highlighting the Bohemian Festival's bright colors and sounds. And there will be it's the traditional music style of Bahamas, and it'll likely be heard throughout the center. So this is kind of a welcome with a lot of.
When you get off the plane at Fantasy Island, it's this.
Yes, exactly. And actually, I'm wrong. That's the hub. That is not when you first get off, because I scrolled too far. When you first get off, you're going to have this place here, and this is called Mabrika Cove. I'm going to go with Mabrika Cove, and this is where you get welcomed. This is where Mr. O'Rourke will be. Mabrika means welcome in the Taino language, which is the first indigenous language Europeans encountered when they came to the Americas. So you kind of get welcomed here, and then this other location is the hub location where there'll be music, and that's something that really Castaway Cay doesn't have, kind of a central hub. Castaway Cay is really much more of an informal flowing place. It looks like they're trying to put a little bit more structure into Lighthouse Point.
So
Go ahead,
I have
Jeremiah.
a question for Mike. You were just at SeaWorld. Bring
Yes.
back up that first picture, Dewey.
Will do.
For me, not SeaWorld, but Aquatica.
This one?
No, the second one.
The other first one.
The first one that you scrolled past. Doesn't that look just like the entrance to SeaWorld San Diego or Aquatica here? Yeah.
Mhm.
It felt very Aquatica when I was looking at these concepts. Sorry, Mike.
I mean, I am very much looking forward to Lighthouse Point, but I really hope that this artwork isn't what we're coming off exactly, because to me it does feel very much SeaWorld San Diego. Aquatica is, the expansions that they've been doing to SeaWorld down here, where it's the bright colors, it's ocean based. But to me, Castaway is great because it's a fun island you get to explore. As you said, Doobie, this is going to have a hub, and kind of a flow to it that you need to adhere to. It'll be an interesting comparison between the two islands, especially when they're the double dip islands.
Mm-hmm.
Of which one will people like? And I will say it like this: this is the Wish to all the other ships, where the original ships had that feel and everything, and the Wish is, we're going to do something new and different and just see how it goes. And that's kind of how the Lighthouse Point's looking to me.
Can I jump in with like a little bit of pushback? Just a little bit? Castaway is very laid back Bahamian spirit. And so I do enjoy that a lot about what Castaway Cay is. But what they're embracing here is that high energy, colorful parade, festival, Junkanoo spirit that you also can find in the islands. And I'm enjoying that they're going kind of with a different vibe. What I'm really intrigued to see is the fact they're going with Serenity Bay as the label, and on both of, at the new location too. So you're going to have Serenity Bay available, whether you're at Castaway Cay or Lighthouse, what's the point?
Lighthouse Point.
Lighthouse Point. And so it'll be very funny to me if there's enough of a difference between the Serenity Bays, where like Jeremiah loves the Serenity Bay at Lighthouse Point, but the kids are more fond of the stuff at Castaway Cay. It's just going to be, I'm intrigued to kind of see how the whole experience will end up measuring up and connecting with people, especially the frequent cruisers. But like, I, for one, while I do love Castaway Cay, I'm excited to see them kind of embracing this other side of the Bahamian lifestyle and the Bahamian culture. So we'll see how its execution hits once it's here.
And a reminder, this is not only in terms of theme, but also actually, this is not a deserted island. This is an inhabited island. And so they're actually going to have lots of the locals as a part of the island. They're going to have crafts and artisans and that kind of thing. So it's really going to be a different experience in Castaway Cay. They are very much focused on an authentic Bahamian experience here, not the dream deserted island that they created at Castaway Cay. Yeah, I'm curious how I will like it in comparison. I'm curious how guests will like it in comparison.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see. And also I'll be looking forward to the people that have done the other cruise lines and their private islands and their experiences, to see if it falls more under that feel of Disney's kind of embracing what other cruise lines have been doing, or if it's going to be, as Rebecca said, something that is more unique to Disney.
More unique. That makes sense. All right, moving right along. Has anybody on this panel seen any of season 2, Behind the Attraction?
I've seen it all.
All right. How about you, Mike? Have you seen anything, Mike?
No, we were watching Fall of the House of Usher.
Pretty much along the same lines. This will flow perfectly into that. So
Yes.
we've got...
Ben's jumping in.
Yeah, so I went to the event for this, and I don't think we ever talked about it.
Okay. Well, wait, before we do.
But at the event, I did learn that the Fall of the House of Usher was not about, wasn't a crib style show for Usher. And I wish I was kidding, but I heard that was watching House of Usher, and I was like, okay, not really my speed. And they're like, it's super dramatic. I was like, what? Like, I just figured it was like, survival.
Oh, man, I love you.
6 episodes in this second season, from looks like from about 38 to 50 minutes. Pirates, Thunder, Indy, Food, Epcot, and Nighttime Spectaculars. Before we learn more about these from Benji, I just have one question for Mike Celestino. When you do finally get around to this, which one are you starting with?
Probably Pirates, because it's the first and my favorite attraction.
Yeah. And
I really expected you to make a food joke there about like how was he able to watch the food episode or without dietary restrictions?
I literally was just asking him, are you just going to skip over the food episode just to be safe?
There's some talk of dietary restrictions in the food episode. Very little, but
that's the one I'm most excited to see, because
the poop dessert.
That one has the LPP legend in it. I think this is the first Disney Plus show with an LPP legend. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't think Denny's done anything.
Yeah.
Yet.
All right. So what do you got to say about this, Ben?
So they did a little event at WDI to kind of promote it. So they showed like about 20 minutes of each episode. And the panel consisted of Brian Volkweiss from Nacelle, another Brian whose last name I'm forgetting, who works for $7 and was the former head writer for WWE. Then Becky Klein from the Archives, Stephen Davison from Entertainment, Carlos Acueros from Foods, and Jeanette Lumboy from WDI. And they talked about it, and it was interesting to hear the origin of the show, in that originally The Rock saw Nacelle's previous show, The Toys That Made Us, and wanted to work together. So they met together in New York and pitched an idea that they were going to take to Disney about the history of breakfast cereal. And then when they didn't get the reaction they expected, or as he said it got the reaction they should have expected. They pivoted and came to this. And Brian said that there was more meetings to get this greenlit than all of his other projects combined, but that when he was doing a previous project, which he said was the complete opposite of a Disney project, he was in Kansas City and he went to Laugh-O-Grams and he found a brick that had fallen off the facade of the Laugh-O-Grams building, and he had it framed. And so he brought it to the meeting, and that sort of like sealed the deal and kind of built the trust. So it's interesting to talk to or hear everyone's story. I mean, obviously we know everyone on that panel, but I guess it was interesting to see how they reacted, that these people who we've known, how they reacted to the $7 guys and the Nacelle guys who don't know them as well as we do. And so it was funny because he's like, Carlos always just makes you cry every time he tells a story. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's Carlos. And then I didn't know that Stephen Davison's uncle played for the San Diego Chargers. And he would be dragged to go to San Diego to watch his uncle play. And then he ended up going to the Chargers weren't playing, but I don't know why. He ended up going to Super Bowl 11, and he really didn't want to go to the Super Bowl, but he saw the halftime show Disney produced there, and that is what got the bug in his ear about joining Disney and making halftime shows, which he's never made a halftime show, but that's what kind of started that whole legacy.
That is pretty cool. Awesome. Jeremiah, you said you've seen them all. Any highlights? You have any favorites?
All of them are really good. The best, and this is something for especially us, the second one, the Big Thunder Mountain, it goes into the controversy of Big Thunder versus Western River Expedition. Like,
really?
They pretty much flat out reference Tony and Mark not getting along, which when I was watching that, I was like, I never thought that I would actually see Disney produce something like that. And I wanted more details of that. And I'm reaching out to some friends like, okay, now that this is officially a real thing, I want to know more stories.
I'm not going to go and say who, but someone in that episode doesn't come across that night great.
Don't talk about Tony like that.
What's that?
Don't talk about Tony like that.
I was surprised to see them let him be that way.
Yeah, that was one of those ones. And I was talking about this during our walk and talk. This season is much less YouTubey than the first season was, where the horrible cuts and the jumps and everything, they're still there, but not as bad. But yeah, there's definitely times where Tony comes off as he is the bad guy in this situation. And it's funny because Mark and Alice aren't around to defend themselves anymore. But Tony,
they don't need to, based on his own words. It's so weird.
They should do the boys too.
Appears this season probably more times than anybody else.
They should do a sequel to The Boys with Tony and Mark, and we can find out the backstory like we did about Richard and Robert, how they don't always get along.
No, and it is a great story. It starts from the talk of Western River Expedition, and then it does jump right into Tony going to Card Walker going, hey, I have a great idea for a roller coaster that I stole from Mark Davis.
Gideon says his favorite was Pirates.
Pirates is great because
that was his favorite.
It starts from before Disneyland and goes all the way to Shanghai. And it really, I didn't expect them to show so much of Shanghai as they did. And not only the attraction in Shanghai, they talk about one of the most amazing shows in any Disney park, the Eye of the Storm pirate show.
Gideon celebrated daylight savings time by staying up late and binging all of them, except for the sixth one, because I don't think he realized it scrolled. But he did see the first five.
The sixth one is my favorite because you can tell that they filmed it all and they had these great idea, and then as they finished it, they went, "Oh, by the way, we're canceling Harmonious," because they're presenting it and they're like, "Yeah, this is great, and they're like, "Oh, and though it's gone." But spoilers, they didn't edit anything for Fantasmic.
That was so funny to see all that footage about Fantasmic and the dragon and all that, knowing that the current state of Fantasmic is very much in flux. So it's kind of an interesting footnote to that special.
But I will say the food one probably has two of my all-time favorite now Disney trivia pieces, both of which I didn't know were facts, and it's about the churro and the Dole Whip.
So there you go. So you'll learn a lot watching these things. Even Jeremiah learns stuff, and he wins all those Disney trivia contests that he enters. So
thank you, Kyle. It is daylight saving time, not savings.
Season 2 of Behind the Attraction, available now, all 6 episodes on Disney Plus. Check them out.
Benji, before you go, was there any talk of a third season other than them wanting to do?
No, there wasn't talk about a third season. The only tease we got were drones. Steve Davison was talking about drones a lot. Not a lot. He talked about drones, which was kind of like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess it's not the shocking, but it was interesting to see that he went out of his way to mention them. So
U.S.
He didn't say that, but it kind of implied it because they're already internationally. So if you're not talking about U.S., then what?
Okay.
He's like, we're doing a lot of work around drones. I know people are asking about it, and we've been working with them for a long time, and we got a lot of work going on there. So I would imagine U.S. I mean, maybe not exclusively, but
did he do like a live drone show?
I don't know that he has the same energy he had 25 years ago.
That's a good point. He's not Steve Davison, I remember.
If you don't know what Doobie and Ben are talking about, back when Steve Davison kind of first hit the fan realm because of Believe There's Magic in the Stars and Believe in Holiday Magic, he actually performed for people the pitch that he gave to executives where he himself became a human firework and in essence danced his way across the stage as if he were these pyrotechnics. It is something to behold. There's videos out there. I know I shot a few of them. And Steve Davison as a human firework, it is impressive. And
it's interesting. He talked about how he hated firework shows, right? And it wasn't until they kind of pitched it as the fireworks as performers that he kind of, and then that's really what there we go. Yeah.
It was quite the sight. They had the full soundtrack going as Steven, through word and action, brought the pyrotechnics to light.
I was at a presentation for Disneyland's 50th for that show where he did it in front of, there were thousands of cast members and he's just going. And then I walked up to him afterwards and he's not even breathing heavy. He's like, oh yeah, I've done that like 20 times in a day.
So cool. This is actually for Magical, this one from 2009. But yeah, we first saw that. Whoa. He really made that happen. We first saw that when he did it for Believe. There's Magic in the Stars. All right. Moving right along. Let's get Mike Celestino involved in this conversation. Mike, you had the opportunity not too long ago to see the new wing of the Disneyland Hotel and check out the Palm Breeze Bar that is now open poolside. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So this is a new bar. It's in between the monorail pool and the pallet pool. It's kind of underneath the building on the outside patio of the Discovery Tower, which is the new Disney Vacation Club Tower at the Disneyland Hotel. It is a nice outdoor bar. It's got a lot of seating around the bar and elsewhere. You can see there's tables there, some couches you could sit on. It has a nice menu with some exclusive drinks. I got a nice gluten-free chicken Southwest chicken salad, which I really grilled chicken. It was really, really good. And the servers, they were all really great and enthusiastic and helpful. It was the opening morning, I think this past Thursday when I went. And they've got a nice mural behind the bar representing a lot of the familiar sites of the Disneyland Resort. What else? There's a monitor. There's the mural. The monitors above the bar also play a loop of some artwork, some Disneyland related artwork. Yeah.
Pretty nice. Lots of very, very detailed theming, it looks like. And as we have said before of the styling at this hotel, it really reminds us of Cabana Bay over at Universal Studios.
That's that era, that genre.
Universal Studios Orlando. Did you walk through the hotel at all? The hotel itself? Have you been there?
Yeah. So this was my first time actually going into that building, the new building. Got to check out the lobby a little bit and some of the artifacts on display in there and that mural inside the lobby. We looked at it on the live stream. Me and Tony kind of went through the whole thing. I haven't been upstairs or into any of the rooms or anything, but I did, I had been itching to check this out. So it was cool to finally get a look in there.
Have you had a chance to see it in the evening?
No.
Because there's I guess Tinkerbell kind of makes an appearance on the buildings somewhere. I've seen a still on Friends Twitter.
Neat.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tinkerbell, has anyone else? I saw this cool short that kind of Tinkerbell kind of comes to life, and it was really cool. Once Upon a Studio. Has anyone else been able to check that out? It was really, really good.
Is this new?
It's relatively new, I think. I think it's on Disney Plus. Really good if you get a chance to check that out. Anyway, other stuff Mike Celestino has been doing. Was that you that got to see what's going on at the Pixar Place Hotel recently?
Yeah. So the same day on the live stream, we walked from the Disneyland Hotel over to the upcoming Pixar Place Hotel, which is formerly the Paradise Pier Hotel, and checked out all the stuff that they had added since the last time I did an update there. This is up on the pool patio level above the parking garage there, I believe. And Tony had told me about these very cool what do you call them? The fire pits. Yeah. And they're all characters that would have fire coming out of their heads in the animation.
How clever.
Hold on, go back. Who was that?
This is Jack from The Incredibles.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Jack.
Anger. That is so cool.
Anger.
All right, now who else would have fire coming out? Oh, this guy.
The volcano from Lava.
Is Ember in there?
I could have said that. I thought you had an actual name for him.
And the last one is indeed Ember from Elemental.
What? How incredibly clever is that? Awesome. I'm sorry. Continue.
So we looked around there. I couldn't get into the pool area because it's for guests only, but we saw the outdoor seating area. This is kind of overlooking. You can see the Disneyland Hotel from here in some of the other shots, but they've got the little fire pit there, fireplace, and
Yep. Recognize that? Do you recognize that one, Rebecca?
Yep. I know Ben's watching, but a question has popped up. If you're interested in answering it from Narnia, you can put it on screen and jump in and answer it. Because you pay attention to more of that wonky stuff than I do.
Get through here.
What is the status of Disneyland Florida flexible zoning thing?
Forward, yeah.
They did their feedback session. Feedback is now closed, so they expect to go back in January to the Planning Commission, and then it'll go to the City Council. So just kind of in a wait and see right now, but it's moving according to schedule.
Stay tuned at D23 Expo for any breaking news.
Or
Thank
not.
you.
And it looks like the main lobby of the hotel, which will eventually look like this, still looks like. Oh man! Dude, you took a lot of pictures, Mike. Way to go! Anyway, it's not quite done yet. The construction continues, but
if you could show
it's
the,
coming good.
I don't know if you can find it, but the stairwell that has all the soul
Oh, so cool.
characters. Tony was really excited about that, and I liked it a lot too.
It was
But
super,
it's got,
super cool.
A piano at the bottom of the stairwell, and it's all soul characters around. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's over by the convention area. Yeah. So I
This is
wanted
turning out nicer than I expected. Go ahead, Truman.
what character do you think they're going to assign to the 13th floor?
It didn't used to have one.
Yeah, it has a 13th floor.
But
I mean, it
it's
skipped it, but yeah.
No,
Anyway,
it was
what did-
always it had a 13th floor.
It
Because
did?
that was
Oh, okay. For some
because
reason,
it was
I thought
built
it was one of those
by
that skipped.
no,
That's
it's built by the Japanese, and that's
Yeah.
a lucky number. And funny, when it used to have smoking floors, the 13th floor was the smoking floor.
Okay, Jeremiah, where's that stairwell?
So when you come in the back door, and to the left is what used to be the arcade. Now it's a little grab and go, and then to the right is the convention.
Okay, so it
area.
is that one that right by the where they used to have like that faux sandcastle setup.
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Okay. It used to be one of the few places that you could find Pepsi, because there was a little concessions right there, and it had Pepsi in the machines.
We don't talk about that word.
We used to
We
go
do
there for our
now.
Dr. Pepper and our Pepsi. That's where we go.
That's,
Do you know
I
when you
like
go
the
up those
story. That's very cute.
Isn't that cute? The
I'm
store.
looking forward to going to explore this hotel.
Were there any little Easter eggs in here you particularly enjoyed, Mike?
Oh well, we spotted some more of the characters that are kind of built into the ground, to the tiling on the floor. This is kind of, I was trying to find the connections between these characters because there are some characters from different franchises that are connected by these dotted lines. I think it's just kind of artsy, though. I don't know if there's any direct connection there, but those are fun little pieces too. And then there was some stuff from Ratatouille. And nice big, I think Tony clued me into what they were called, color scripts of Luca and Finding Nemo in the
nice.
lobby across from the check-in desk.
Wow. So was Tony
Went
totally
to-
geeking out?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, cool.
When we visit here, Rebecca, we should just we should FaceTime with Tony while we walk through. I think that'll make it about 10 times more fun.
No, I really want to go here with Tony and Morgan.
I want to know what's in the tea room.
Oh yeah,
That's
tea room.
that's what I was asking about. Did they stop the Mary Poppins tea? Is that not going on
It's
anymore?
been gone for years.
Like I think it's more than your son's been on Earth.
It was offices the last time it was actually used. Well, that area was all offices for management. So
It's a nice looking hotel. Way to go. This is
Oh man,
nicer than Art of Animation,
yeah.
at least interior
But
wise.
I do like it. It's pretty.
Interior wise, it doesn't have the exterior work.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see it in
What-
person. It's cool.
What else have you been up to, Mike? I know you've been traveling, been all around this great big world.
Well, let's see. Last week, when Benji was at the Treehouse, I was at SeaWorld for the groundbreaking of the new jellyfish exhibit coming to SeaWorld San Diego. So we have video of that up on the Laughing Place YouTube channel and some concept art on laughingplace.com.
There was something very charming about the groundbreaking picture that we shared. I don't know what exactly it was, but when it scrolled by, it just made me like kind of smirk and just bubble. It was just, I don't know what it was, but there was something about it that just totally caught my heart in the moment.
Mike, where
So
is
this-
the going to be?
So this is called Jewels of the Sea. It's going to be where that ill-fated submarine ride was a few years ago.
Oh, highlight of Gideon's only trip to SeaWorld San Diego was seeing where that used to be.
I was like, did he actually get to write it? Because I think Mike is the only person I know that ever wrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he knows exactly where everything was.
Kind of one of my claims to fame is if you go watch the Defunct Land video about that ride, most of the footage was shot by me.
That is so cool. So that video's up. Where else did you go, Mike?
Let's see. I'm trying to remember. What else did I do? Oh,
You went
yes.
to Venice.
Friday night, which was the same day as the SeaWorld event was that morning, I went over to Venice for this temporary pop-up shopping experience called Mickey and Friends Holiday Village. And this was only for this past weekend. It's not happening anymore. It's over and done with. Which it seemed like they put a lot of effort in for this 2-day thing. And Friday night was like the media
stuff online still.
Yeah, in fact, you could only ever buy anything online. You couldn't buy anything there. You had to like scan the QR code in front of the store if you liked something, and then go to the website and buy it. So they weren't actually accepting your money there, which was interesting.
So it was just a giant billboard.
Pretty much, but there were, photo ops, of course. There were a couple food trucks. One of the most fun things that I did was I had the opportunity to play Disney Illusion Island for Nintendo Switch. They had like a demo booth set up for that. This was one of the appetizers being handed out.
Were you able to actually eat the food, or did they mail that to you as well?
I couldn't eat any of it, but my wife had some of it and she liked it. And I had a hot chocolate.
Okay. Looks like a fun experience. Is it traveling, or is it just pop up one place, that's it?
As far as I know, it was just this past weekend. I don't know if it has plans to show up anywhere else.
Cool.
It was to kick off the holiday shopping season, pretty much.
Yeah. And my theory why they did it this early was because they didn't want to overlap with the Disneyland holidays, which is starting on Friday.
Okay, so let me just pop in with a little bit of additional information.
There is no way.
As
hold on, man. Go ahead, Rebecca.
As the barely necessities person here, it is an immersive online shopping experience that Disney has created. It's available now through January 7th. It can be found at disneyholiday.com/village. Let me share my screen real quick, Doobie, so I can kind of show. It was the launch point for this whole just kind of fun online initiative. And it's a collab with all these different brands. You've got Coach, and those neon signs you saw were Yellow Pop. But is my thing popping up? I hope so.
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, so what they've done is they've got all the little areas here, and this is what Mike got to see it in person, but then they brought it online here. So when you click on Mickey and Minnie's Closet, you've got clothing. When you click on Beauty Bar, you've got things like from Basin. When you click on kitchen supplies, it's like an overarching umbrella for all the different collabs. So basically what we've been doing at Barely Necessities for you, bringing all the collaborations under one umbrella, Disney's doing themselves, but still, come check us out, because I put a lot of time and effort into getting all this information too, along with Becca.
Ben?
But my favorite thing that I stumbled on while looking at all of this stuff, there's two. It's Swarovski Crystal has an advent calendar, way out of my price range at $1,200, but super cool. Truly crystal like ornaments and figurines for an advent calendar. And then the other item is the Yellow Pop collaboration. These are large LED neon-esque signs, and they have been doing some Disney ones recently, like those silhouettes you saw in the picture that Doobie shared. If you want to put that back up, that's fine. But they've announced that starting later this week and throughout the rest of November, they're going to be doing releases of varying characters and from Disney history. And so you can go to their website and sign up and get notified when the next drop is, because they're going to be reaching into titles like Peter Pan, Little Mermaid, Monsters Inc. And it's just, a lot of fun. The decor can vary in price. They've got some that are in like that $99, $150 price range, all the way up to an enormous Minnie Mouse full body that was $690. So quite a price range in variety there. So okay, so there you go. So that's what the fun was at the Holiday Village.
And I expect you might hear a little more about that tomorrow on Barely Necessities at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Ben?
Are
that right?
you guys doing a show tomorrow?
Oh, am I wrong?
No, there's still one. There's still one on the schedule.
Wow, that's impressive. Becca pulling overtime.
Oh, Becca said I could run with it because Becca's traveling. And so just like she's done a couple without me, she said, go ahead, you can do it without me.
Oh, no, that's totally fine. I guess I just didn't.
We are on the air. I'm not sure if you guys recall. Okay.
I'm just not in the loop on things.
This is not a staff meeting. Okay.
There is no way that Disney considered when the parks are doing the holiday. Just because I want you to look at our we have, let me put it this way. I'm making Doobie cover an event, 2 events, because we have lost. I'm just giving you a hard time. But the next
a long time.
days, no one's like, I mean, they're sending, they asked us to go cover something internationally. But you were like, okay, so that means no, Disneyland, Disney World, everybody's still having 3 or 4 events. They just are just not.
They think LP staffers grow on trees.
And we're at all of them. We don't miss many events, which I'm very proud to say.
And we've got an earnings call coming.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Walt Disney World, where Jeremiah, I believe you covered this.
Asha, yes. Surprisingly, Asha appeared at Epcot. And I say surprisingly because I don't even think our CEO knew she was going to show up that day. It was just kind of, we woke up in the morning and she was on the app as appearing in the gazebo. I was actually over covering a groundbreaking for some affordable housing that Universal's helping with. And it's like, well, I'm not going to make it to her first set. So after that, I headed over to Epcot. She does appear in the gazebo that was originally built for Duffy and then has had Daisy and Minnie and Pluto. And now Asha, the newest Disney character from the upcoming Disney Wish, not the ship, the movie.
And Jeremiah got her to say something just for you, so let's watch.
Hi, Asha here. I'm from the Kingdom of Roses.
Yep, that's what she said.
An island full of lots of adventures. Maybe you can come on by very soon. King Magnifico is having a wishing ceremony, and it's gonna be great. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Very nice, Jeremiah. Good job.
Yeah, she was lovely.
Can you recall when does Wish come to theaters?
November 22nd.
Can you recall a character coming to the parks 2-3 weeks before the film?
A lot of them have recently.
Really? Okay.
We were having this discussion. Jeff and Denise from Mouse Steps were with me in line, and we were talking about the first time that we remember something like this really happening was Anna and Elsa showed up quite a bit early. Like they kind of previewed them at Disney MGM Studios at the time, and they couldn't talk about anything in their movie because nobody had seen the movie. So we really just talked about the fashion of their costumes, and I was trying to find pictures of that, and I can't find.
Funny. No, it's funny that what you talked to them about was the fashion of their costumes.
Yeah.
Because then when they debuted early for Frozen 2, it was kind of spoilery because she was like clearly regal. And so it was kind of a bit of a spoiler as to where the plot had gone. So,
yeah, because unless you were at D23 Expo that year, you really had no idea about anything Frozen at all. And I can remember showing up at the park and waiting, and everybody around me, like people had been to Expo and they created their own costumes, because I think this may have been as early as just the bad Olaf and Sven trailer that nobody liked. So it was very early, but this was fun to talk to her. She was lovely.
Cool.
Lots of fun. And as we don't know any closing date for this, but they definitely put some money into doing something with the gazebo. So it is, probably longer than just till the movie opens.
That's cool.
Awesome. Asha now appearing at Epcot. And appearing at Magic Kingdom right now is Christmas. Christmas has arrived. As Jeremiah talked about earlier, it's getting around. It's not completely done everywhere, but it is coming. Very exciting. Even though there are no Castle Dream lights, it is still going to be beautiful.
Nope.
at the Magic
Tomorrow
Kingdom this year.
is the first night of Frozen. Oh, man, I had it all day long.
Is this your picture, Jeremiah?
Yes.
Oh, it is true that suffering creates great art. This is beautiful. You're doing a nice
That
job.
is cool.
Frozen Something Surprise, the new castle projection show. No, they're no longer putting up cranes to drop Christmas lights over the castle. It is now all projection. But that starts tomorrow at 6:15 is the first show. So hopefully we'll have up video of that shortly thereafter.
And Jingle Cruise. Jingle Cruise is coming back this year.
It opened on the 3rd also.
Very cool.
The holidays, so much better. No offense, so much better than Halloween.
Gingerbread. It means lots and lots and lots of gingerbread.
Narnia,
Gingerbread.
the Very Merry Christmas Party is actually on Thursday. Yes, Thursday. And then Jollywood Nights is on Saturday. So
And Rebecca mentioned gingerbread. The gingerbread houses are coming.
Yes.
And I know you wish you were there to experience them.
Oh,
This is your
my
favorite
friend
part of the holiday season.
my friend Anita was down at Walt Disney World for the Run Disney weekend, and she stopped by the Grand Floridian, and she said it smells wonderful. It's not quite open yet, but she said it's really taking shape. It looks really beautiful. Smells amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and just about every resort has something No, I shouldn't say that, but certainly the deluxes have something gingerbready going on inside.
Yeah, they do.
Worth checking out. So yeah, get yourself around to all the resorts. That's where the fun really, really happens at Christmas. I remember one time we did a project where I did a project where I took a picture of every single Christmas tree at the Disneyland Resort, and that was a fun project.
Wasn't that me? Hold on, wasn't that me like 2 years ago?
I did this before LP was.
When it was just me and I.
I was like, wait, that was me. Are you?
Way back when? No.
Way back
So
when.
yes, you did, but I'm talking about. But,
that was one of our first.
I would love that at Disney World. So do try to do that at Disney World.
That was one of our very first, like, truly Disney business trips. Was we went down just for a 48-hour trip, right? And
it was 4 days.
Was it 4 days? We were there that long?
Yeah. I mean, it didn't feel long when you're trying to do 4 parks in every hotel, but yes.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, no, but all we did was take pictures of the Christmas decor. And the challenge back then was you can't shoot it at night because then it's too dark for the way digital cameras were then. So you had to get as much as you could right at twilight because it would be dark enough that you could tell the Christmas lights were lit, but not so dark that you would have really bad quality pictures. So yeah, that was stressful and fun and wonderful, and my body so hurt. Oh man,
that was a nice trip. That was a great trip.
Doobie, as soon as hotel hopping comes back, I will shoot the Christmas trees at every resort.
Yes. Oh, do it. Not just every resort. Every tree on property. You got to go to every Hess. Wow, how retro. Every gas station and.
Well, the nice thing is the speedways don't have Christmas trees in them.
You know who has great Christmas decor? At least last time I checked it out, which was probably 15 years ago. The Swan or Dolphin Hotel. I guess it's the Swan.
No, they still do.
The Swan Christmas tree is.
Yeah, that's gone because of the redo of the lobby. They don't have the same facility for that. Remember that enormous? It was pink poinsettia.
Yeah. Oh, so beautiful.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
Mike, what is your favorite Christmas tree at Disneyland Resort?
I guess the Main Street USA one.
Big one?
Yeah.
If you were designing one for Batu, what would it look like?
Well, there were all these rumors that they were going to do more decorations for Life Day, so I would like
Just
to
the
have.
Arthur's head.
Yeah. I would like
Okay.
to see more Life Day decor in Galaxy's Edge.
I noticed you said this too. So since Narnia is asking, what do you mean by as soon as hotel hopping comes back?
In the old days, even pre-pandemic, it was rough, but you used to be able to go into the hotels, drive in, and at least do something. Post-pandemic, it is still very much only guests are permitted into the hotels. So unless I'm riding a bus from every hotel to a park and then back to a different hotel, that can take.
Yeah, it used to be much more simple. If you wanted to go enjoy a drink at the bar or dine at a quick service, you could do that and then visit the resorts. But now, pretty much a dining reservation is what you need to be able to drive on. Obviously, you can take the monorail around to the monorail hotels, but to be able to park in the parking lots there. And so far, you aren't terribly challenged if you wanted to take a bus out there. I know I've heard that with some transport, it's more challenging if you're not a guest of the location to use the kind of that Disney transportation. But so far, it doesn't seem to be buses that are impacted that way.
The one place we had zero trouble, as I recall on our last trip, was Port Orleans. They were very, come on in, have a beignet, as I recall. When we
we did. We drove up. Yeah, we drove up and said, "Hey, we're wanting to get some beignets," and he said, "Come on in. You know where the parking is?" Yeah, no, totally. But
especially with so many more hotels having I gotta stop clicking. Having a Skyliner, like Pop Century, you think, oh, what's the big deal? Who wants to go to Pop Century? But it's got nice Skyliner access for our station, and so.
But the All Stars is, that's not a hey, I can drive onto the All Stars for any reason.
Yeah.
But the plus side is you can park at Hollywood Studios now, and very easily between the boat and the Skyliner get to so many different resorts. Which is still very welcome, at least as Rebecca said at this point. Okay. Anything else, Mike? We hardly talked to you today, Mike. Tell us anything that's going on in your life. You get any more wedding gigs?
Yes, but did I tell you about that one already?
No.
Oh. I'm gonna be officiating the wedding of our own Cole Garriak and his bride to be.
Yay!
Fantastic. Anything else going on?
Oh gosh, I really spent the weekend playing Baldur's Gate 3, and we finished House of Usher. That's really what's in my mind right now.
So House of Usher, I have no idea.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it? A thriller? Is it a drama?
It's like Edgar Allan Poe fanfic.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of
Mike
creepy.
is so cool. He doesn't even say fiction. He just says fanfic.
It takes a bunch of Edgar Allan Poe stories and mashes them up and sets it in the modern era.
I thought that's Goosebumps.
I want to try that.
Goosebumps is
I'm a
great.
little afraid because I don't do creepy, and it looks really. It looks really creepy. Benji says it might be too creepy for me.
Goosebumps? No.
Yes, I'm a wimp.
Sorry, we're talking about Usher.
I just made it through the haunting in Venice, so I must maybe.
You'll be fine with Goosebumps versus the haunting in Venice.
Okay, cool. Then I'll binge that over the next few days.
And then most important thing we've been watching, Santa Summit, quite good, quite entertaining. It's one of the new Hallmark movies this year. It is called The Santa Summit. We watched that last night, and yeah, I mean, I dare say kind of original, almost original.
Wait, do they end up with getting together at the end?
Not totally original.
Well, but they get together at the beginning, and then it's very complicated until.
And then he lied to her about being
No,
Santa.
no,
and
See,
she gets
it's
upset.
none of that. No, that's the other one we saw over the weekend.
It's none of that.
None of that.
None of that. It is all in a single evening event. They meet at this event, but they're dressed as Santas, and they get separated from each other with no information about each other, and then they spend the rest of the event trying to re-find each other. It's very sweet. It's just simple and sweet.
Gio mentioned something about music, and we completely missed the Luminous music.
I mean, I didn't miss it. What am I going to do? Play it? I'm not going to do that. Go ahead and talk about it.
Luminous starting in just over a month, just under a month. The Luminous music, they put out a preview.
Are you excited?
I am.
Did that get you excited?
The music is very exciting, and then thanks to another website that had somebody at a hotel close to it, they did a full preview they did the full show the other night, and they have a listing of the different tracks that can be heard during the show. So I'm excited for this. I will be interested to see the response. I mean, I know that the bar isn't high after Harmonious for most people, Juby, but I'll be very interested to see how this hits, and especially December 5th. Just they should call that the No Walls Day at Epcot, because hopefully all the walls will be down.
So Gio says he was surprised that there's no mention of Hunchback music. Does that fit with what you've heard, Mr. Jeremiah?
Hang on, I can bring up the list as we are talking. The Hunchback music worked so well in Harmonious. I'm not upset that it's not going into Luminous. Again, we don't know how the difference between Luminous, Harmonious, and of course Illuminations 25A/B, Illuminations Reflections of Earth, Illuminations 100. Oh wait, they didn't call it that. I mean, the listing of songs that we've heard are from Tangled, Toy Story, Tarzan, Coco, Aladdin, Enchanted, Toy Story 2, Coco, and Frozen 2. So yes, some of those hit some of the land or some of the country around the World Showcase, but I don't think this is going to be like Harmonious, where it was purely songs from the countries. This could just be more of, hey, here's some music that's intertwined with that original music.
Okay. Arnie is asking if we expect drones in Luminous.
I wish. I don't believe so. That is something that I believe we would have heard of by now, because the show starts in, like I said, December 5th is the first date, and they are going to have the launching from around the lagoon. So having drones up there, if they have drones, they have to shut down the bridge walkway, which is one of the main walkways. Actually, I think they'd have to shut down more of that area for what the FAA regulations fall under. But who knows? Maybe something will come.
Okay. Anything else anybody want to mention? Gio, did we miss anything you surprised we didn't talk about?
Give Gio a moment to give us wants to know about. Oh man, it's almost gingerbread. I already made some gingerbread, but it's almost Disney gingerbread season. I'm so excited.
Foodie guide. Yes, there's their foodie guide. So many foodie
lots of foodie guides. Magic Kingdom, I am glad that we are not a Disney food blog, because the amount of food that is coming out in the next few weeks for Walt Disney World alone, like every hotel is having something new. So go check out our foodie guide. We recapped it on our site today, and it's a lot of food.
My wish list is so long. And it's really bad because I have old standbys that I want, but then they keep bringing in new things that sound amazing. This hot chocolate flight over at Disney Springs. I'm going to try over at Jock's Hangar Bar. Chocolate flight.
One of the things that I forgot to even talk about was I was out at Busch Gardens for their What's New and What's Next announcement, which is pretty much they just kind of recapped the new coaster that's coming, the Phoenix Rising, and they gave us hot chocolate when we walked in, and it was perfect hot chocolate. And I'm not even a real hot chocolate person, and now I remember why. Because it was so hot, it burned everybody's mouth, because they put whipped cream on there just enough. So you take that first sip, you're like, oh, now it's hot.
All right. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific, Rebecca, and who knows who will be doing Barely a Necessity
To be Judy.
merchandise show. Could be. And then at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, we will be doing Disney Trivia Live. And if our CEO down there can say yes or no on if I can say what's after, yes. And then following Disney Trivia Live, we're going to pop down and pop back up and do a social roundup of Marvels, including hopefully our very own Marvels reviewer. She can pop on and give us her quick opinion of the newest film in the MCU. So always stay tuned here at Laughing Place. Ring that bell, subscribe, and like. But usually you do that in the reverse order of what I just said. Until next time, bye, everyone.